I don't love you. I'm only with you because of your money.
What? I need to know what it feels like to be ordinary. To meet someone who looks at me and sees a man, not a bank account.
This is gonna be harder than I thought.
Hello guys, welcome to African Tales by Reno. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, share it with your friends. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Would you pretend to be poor to find true love, or is honesty always the best policy? Let's dive in. He sat in his home office, surrounded by everything that defined him to the world. Forbes magazines with his father's face on the cover. Photos of himself at charity galas, business launches, celebrity weddings. His Oxford degree hanging on the wall. The golden key to his Lamborghini sitting on his mahogany desk. All of it meant nothing if he died alone. You're absolutely insane, Emeka said, pacing across the Persian rug. His best friend since secondary school was the only person Chitty trusted with this plan. Your father will lose his mind when he realizes you're gone. My father thinks money solves everything, Chitty replied, closing his laptop. Maybe it's time I prove him wrong. Emeka stopped pacing. And you really think pretending to be a security guard is the answer? You've never worked a day in your life, Chitty. You don't know what it's like out there. Exactly. Chitty stood up, his jaw set with determination. I need to know what it feels like to be ordinary. To meet someone who looks at me and sees a man, not a bank account. And when you find this woman, then what? You reveal you've been lying the whole time. The question hung in the air. Chitty hadn't thought that far ahead. All he knew was that he couldn't continue like this, dating women who saw his last name before they saw his face. I'll deal with that when the time comes, he said quietly. The next 2 days were a blur of careful planning. Emeka used his connections to get Chitty a legitimate security guard position at Marina Plaza, a busy commercial center in Lekki. The hiring manager never asked questions. Emeka's recommendation was enough. Chitty rented a single room in Ajagunal under the name Obina Nwachukwu. No air conditioning, shared bathroom down the hall, peeling paint on the walls. When he first stepped inside, the contrast from his penthouse nearly broke his resolve. This is reality for most people, Emeka reminded him. You sure you can handle it? Chitty looked around the tiny space. A narrow bed with a thin mattress, a plastic chair, a small table, one naked bulb hanging from the ceiling. His walk-in closet at home was bigger than this entire room. I have to try, he said. On his last night, as Chitty Okafor, he stood in front of his bedroom mirror, unrecognizable in his new uniform. Navy blue pants and shirt, slightly faded from washing. Worn black boots that pinched his toes. A cheap digital watch from the market. His designer haircut had been replaced with a simple low cut from a local barber shop. He looked like a completely different person. His phone buzzed. A message from his father. Board meeting tomorrow, 9 a.m. Don't be late. Chitty turned off his phone and left it on his bed. Tomorrow, Chitty Okafor would vanish. And Obina Nwachukwu would be born. Marina Plaza buzzed with activity even at 8 p.m. Chitty, no, Obina now, reported to the security supervisor, a stern-faced man named Mr. Benson who looked him up and down with skepticism. You the new night guard? Mr. Benson asked. Yes, sir. Obina Nwachukwu, sir. Emeka vouched for you, so I'm giving you a chance. But know this, I don't tolerate laziness. You patrol every 2 hours. Check all locks. Report anything suspicious. Clear. Very clear, sir. Good. Your post is the East Wing. Shops close at 9 p.m. After that, it's just you and the night cleaners. Stay alert. Obina nodded and took his position. As the plaza is slowly emptied, he watched the last customers leave. Business owners locked their shops. The vibrant energy of the day faded into quiet. This was it. His new life had officially begun. At 9:30 p.m., he began his first patrol. His torch beams swept across closed storefronts, a phone shop, a boutique, a pharmacy, an electronics store. Everything seemed secure until he reached the last shop on his route. Mama Nkechi's Kitchen read the hand-painted sign. The lights were still on inside. Through the glass door, Obina could see a woman wiping down tables, humming softly to herself. She looked tired but content, moving with practiced efficiency. She glanced up and saw him watching. Instead of looking annoyed or suspicious, she smiled, a genuine, warm smile that reached her eyes, and waved him over. Obinna hesitated, then approached the door. She opened it, and the aroma of jollof rice and pepper soup hit him like a wave of memories from his grandmother's kitchen. "Good evening," she said. Her voice was gentle, welcoming. "You must be the new security guard." "I'm Ngozi." "Obinna," he replied, suddenly forgetting every smooth line he'd ever used on women. This wasn't a charity gala or a yacht party. This was real. "Nice to meet you, Obinna. Have you eaten?" The simple question caught him off guard. When was the last time someone asked him that without an agenda? "No, I haven't." "Then come sit. You can't protect this plaza on an empty stomach." And just like that, billionaire Chidi Okafor sat down in a small restaurant, eating rice from a plastic plate, talking to a woman who had no idea she'd just met one of the richest men in Nigeria. For the first time in years, he felt something he'd almost forgotten. He felt free. Wow, can you believe Chidi actually pulled it off? He's now living in Ajagunal, working as a security guard, and he's already met Ngozi. Do you think she'll fall for Obinna? Or will his secret destroy everything before it even starts? Smash that like button and subscribe to African Tales by Reno. Drop a comment. Would you ever pretend to be someone else to find true love? Next chapter reveals what happens when their worlds start to collide. And trust me, you don't want to miss it. Share this video and turn on notifications. Don't want to miss it. Share this video and turn on notifications. The plastic plate was nothing like the fine china Chidi was used to, but the jollof rice tasted better than any five-star meal he'd ever had. Ngozi sat across from him, her kind eyes studying him with curiosity. "So, Obinna, what brought you to security work?" Chidi, Obinna, carefully chose his words. "I needed change, a fresh start. Running from something or running toward something?" she asked, then laughed. "Sorry, that's too personal for a first meeting. My mother always says I ask too many questions." "It's okay," he said, surprising himself with his honesty. "Maybe a bit of both." Ngozi nodded as if she understood. "Well, Marina Plaza is a good place for fresh starts. I opened this restaurant 3 years ago with my savings. Best decision I ever made." "You run this place alone?" "Mostly. I have 2 part-time helpers during lunch rush, but evenings are just me. It's hard work, but it's mine, you know." Her face glowed with pride. "Nobody can take that away from me." Chidi felt something twist in his chest. He'd never had to work for anything in his life. Everything had been given to him, handed over with a bow. But Ngozi had built something with her own hands, her own sweat. "That's admirable," he said quietly. "What about you? Any dreams beyond security work?" The question hit harder than she knew. What were his dreams? He'd been so focused on escaping his life that he'd never stopped to think about what he actually wanted. "I'm still figuring that out," he admitted. Ngozi smiled. "Well, you're young. You have time." Young and lost, Chidi thought. But he couldn't say that out loud. The first week, as Obinna, was harder than Chidi had imagined. His body ached from standing for hours. His feet developed blisters from the worn boots. The August heat during day patrols was unbearable, and his small room in Ajagunal offered no relief. The shared bathroom was always occupied when he needed it most. His neighbors played loud music until 2 a.m. This was poverty, real poverty. Not the romantic version he'd seen in movies, but the grinding, exhausting reality that millions of Nigerians lived every single day. On his 4th night, Chidi sat on his narrow bed, staring at his turned-off phone. His father must be going crazy by now. The police were probably searching for him. His face might even be on the news. But he couldn't go back. Not yet. Not until he knew what it felt like to be truly seen. A knock on his door startled him. "Obinna, you day inside?" It was his neighbor, Kazim, a bus conductor who lived 2 doors down. Chidi opened the door. "Yes. We day play football for the compound. You want join?" Football. In a dusty compound. With people who had no idea who he really was. "I'll be right there," Chidi said. 20 minutes later, he was sweating, laughing, and cursing as Kazim nutmegged him for the 3rd time. The other guys teased him mercilessly nicknaming him Johnny Just Come because of his terrible skills. But nobody cared that he couldn't afford a better room. Nobody judged him for his cheap clothes. They just accepted him as Obina, the new guy trying to make in Lagos. For the first time since this experiment began, Chitty felt genuinely happy. Meanwhile, at Okafor Industries headquarters, Chief Okafor sat in his corner office, his face gray with worry. "Still no trace of him, sir," his head of security reported. "We've checked hospitals, police stations, even the morgues. It's like he vanished into thin air." "My son doesn't just vanish." Chief Okafor slammed his fist on the desk. "Someone knows something. Check his friends again. Check his credit cards, his bank accounts." "Sir, he hasn't used any of his cards. No withdrawals, no transactions. His phone has been off for a week." Chief Okafor's hands trembled. His only son, his heir, gone. "Double the reward," he said quietly. 10 million naira to anyone with information leading to Chitty's whereabouts. The head of security nodded and left. Alone in his office, Chief Okafor stared at the photo on his desk. Him and Chitty at his son's Oxford graduation. Both of them smiling. What had he done wrong? Had he pushed too hard? Expected too much? "Come back, my son," he whispered to the empty room. "Whatever I did, we can fix it. Just come back." Back at Marina Plaza, Obina finished his patrol and found himself outside Mama and Ketchi's kitchen again. The lights were on, and Ngozi was inside, preparing for the next day. Without thinking, he knocked. She looked up, surprised, then smiled and opened the door. "Obina, couldn't stay away from my jollof rice. Actually, I was wondering if you needed help. With anything. Lifting heavy things, cleaning, whatever you need." Ngozi tilted her head, studying him. "You know security guards don't have to do that, right?" "I know, but you're always here late, working alone. I just thought." He trailed off, suddenly feeling foolish. But Ngozi's expression softened. "You're a kind man, Obina." "Yes, actually, I could use help moving some supply boxes from the storage room. They're too heavy for me." As they worked together, moving boxes and organizing her storage, they talked. Really talked. About life, about dreams, about the little things that made Lagos both frustrating and beautiful. Chitty realized he was telling her things he'd never told anyone. Real things. Deep things. And she listened, not because she wanted something from him, but because she genuinely cared. When they finished, Ngozi pressed a small container of food into his hands. "For tomorrow's lunch. A security guard salary doesn't leave much room for good meals." Chitty looked down at the container, his throat tight. In his old life, people gave him expensive gifts, trying to impress him. But this simple gesture, born from genuine kindness, meant more than all of those combined. "Thank you, Ngozi," he said softly. "Thank you for the help, Obina. You're a good person." As he walked back to his post, Chitty smiled in the darkness. She had no idea who he was. But somehow, she saw him clearer than anyone ever had. Maybe this crazy plan was working after all. Wait. Did you catch that? Chitty's father is offering 10 million naira for information about his missing son. And Chitty is right there in Lagos, playing football and eating jollof rice like a regular guy. And now Ngozi is calling him a good person. She has no idea she's falling for a billionaire. Smash that like button if this is getting intense. Subscribe to African Tales by Reno. Comment below, should Chitty tell Ngozi the truth now, or wait until she falls completely in love with him? Chapter 3 is where things get really complicated. You won't believe what happens. Share this and turn on notifications. 3 weeks into his new life, Obina had become a fixture at Marina Plaza. The other security guards accepted him. The shop owners greeted him by name. Even Mr. Benson had stopped watching him like a hawk. But it was Ngozi who made every shift worthwhile. Their late-night conversations had become routine. After she closed the restaurant, they would sit outside under the stars, talking about everything and nothing. She told him about her family. 3 younger siblings she was putting through school after their parents died in a car accident 5 years ago. "So you're doing all this alone?" Chitty asked one night, amazed. "What choice do I have?" Ngozi said, but there was no bitterness in her voice. "They're my blood, my responsibility. My mother always said, Family is everything, Ngozi. Everything else is just details. Chidi thought about his own father, probably still searching frantically for him. The guilt gnawed at him daily, but he pushed it down. He needed this. Needed to know what real connection felt like. "You're incredible," he said softly. Ngozi laughed, embarrassed. "I'm just doing what I have to do. What about you? Any family?" The question always made his stomach knot. "It's complicated," he said. It was becoming his standard answer. "Everything worth having is complicated," Ngozi replied. Then she looked at him with those warm, honest eyes. "But you know what's not complicated? This. Us talking. It feels easy, like we've known each other forever." Chidi's heart hammered. "I feel it too." The moment stretched between them, electric and terrifying. Chidi wanted to tell her everything. Who he really was, why he was really here. But the words stuck in his throat. What if she never looked at him the same way again? The next afternoon, disaster struck. Chidi was off duty, sleeping in his adjugal room, when his phone, the one he'd kept turned off, suddenly buzzed to life. The battery had somehow retained a charge, and it automatically powered on. 15 missed calls from Emeka. 23 from unknown numbers. Dozens of messages. His heart racing. Chidi opened Emeka's most recent text. "Chidi, where are you? Your father had a heart attack. He's in the hospital. Please respond." The phone slipped from Chidi's hands. His father. In the hospital. Because of him. Without thinking, he grabbed his keys and ran. He had to get to the hospital. Had to see his father. Had to end this insane experiment before. His neighbor Kazim called out, "Obinna, where you day run to?" Chidi froze. Obinna. He was Obinna now, but his father was in the hospital, possibly dying. "Emergency," he called back and kept running. At the hospital, Chidi stood outside the building, breathing hard. His father was on the 7th floor in the VIP wing. But the moment he walked through those doors, Obinna would disappear. Chidi Okafor would be found. This whole experience would end. He stood there for 10 minutes, paralyzed by indecision. Then his phone rang. "Emeka, Chidi, where are you? Did you get my messages?" I'm at the hospital. Thank God. Your father is stable now. It was a minor episode, stress-induced. The doctors say he'll be fine with rest. But Chidi, you need to come home. This has gone too far." Relief flooded through him. His father was okay. He didn't have to reveal himself. "Not yet. I can't, Emeka. Not yet. Are you insane? Your father almost died, and he's fine now. You said so yourself. Please, just give me a little more time." Emeka's sigh was long and frustrated. "What's changed? Why are you so determined to keep doing this?" Chidi closed his eyes, seeing Ngozi's smile in his mind. "I think I'm falling in love." Silence on the other end. Then, "Oh no. Chidi, this is going to end badly. You know that, right?" "Maybe, but I have to see it through. And when she finds out the truth, what then?" "I don't know," Chidi admitted, "but I can't walk away. Not now." That night, Chidi returned to Marina Plaza, exhausted and emotionally drained. He found Ngozi closing up as usual, but something was different. Her movements were stiff, her face tight with worry. "Ngozi, what's wrong?" She looked up, and he saw tears in her eyes. "Oh, Obinna, I didn't think you'd come tonight." He was beside her in 3 steps. "What happened?" "My landlord. He came this morning with a lawyer. He's saying I owe 6 months back rent for this space. But I paid. I have receipts. He's just trying to push me out so he can rent it to some big chain restaurant for triple the price. That's illegal. You can fight this." "With what money?" "Lawyers cost money I don't have. And he's given me 30 days to pay or vacate." Her voice broke. "This restaurant is all I have, Obinna. It's how I feed my siblings, how I pay their school fees. If I lose this..." Chidi's mind raced. He could solve this with one phone call, one transfer. The landlord would disappear like smoke. But to do that, he'd have to reveal who he was. "How much does he claim you owe?" he asked carefully. 240,000 naira. I have about 60,000 saved. But that's for my brother's WAC fees next month. 240,000 naira. To Chidi, that was less than he spent on a single watch. He could reach into his pocket and... But Obinna, a security guard making 40,000 naira a month, couldn't possibly have that kind of money. Ngozi wiped her eyes. "I'm sorry. I shouldn't burden you with this. You have your own struggles. Don't apologize, Chitty said, taking her hand. The touch sent electricity through both of them. We'll figure something out. I promise. She looked at their joined hands, then up at his face. Why are you so good to me, Obina? We barely know each other. Because I'm falling in love with you, he thought. Because you're the first real thing in my life. Because you see me, the real me, even though you don't know my real name. Because you deserve kindness, he said instead. Ngozi squeezed his hand. I think you're too good to be just a security guard. There's something about you. Something different. Chitty's blood ran cold. What do you mean? I don't know. The way you talk. The way you carry yourself. Sometimes I catch you looking at things like you're surprised by them. Like you're not used to. She trailed off, shaking her head. Never mind. I'm probably just tired. But she had seen it. The cracks in his disguise. The truth leaking through. Time was running out. Ngozi, he began, his heart pounding. Maybe this was the moment. Maybe he should just... Yes. The words died in his throat. He couldn't do it. Not like this. Not when she was already dealing with so much. Coward, his conscience whispered. I'll help you find a way out of this, he said instead. I promise. She smiled, sad but grateful. Thank you, Obina. For everything. As he walked his patrol that night, Chitty's mind churned with guilt and longing and fear. He was living a lie. A beautiful, terrible lie that was about to crash down on both of them. But he couldn't stop now. He was in too deep. Oh no, this is getting messy. Chitty's father had a heart attack. Ngozi is about to lose her restaurant. And she's starting to suspect something isn't right about Obina. The truth is coming out whether Chitty wants it to or not. Are you stressed? Hit that like button. Subscribe to African Tales by Reno. Drop a comment. Should Chitty just pay off the landlord secretly? Or would that make things worse? Next chapter is where everything explodes. I'm telling you, you're not ready. Share this video. Turn on notifications. This story is about to get crazy. Chitty had 24 hours to make an impossible decision. He sat in his cramped, agigunal room, staring at his turned-off phone. One call could save Ngozi's restaurant. One transfer could make her landlord disappear. But the moment he made that call, Obina would cease to exist. There had to be another way. The next morning, dressed in his security uniform, Chitty did something he hadn't done in weeks. He ventured into his old neighborhood, Victoria Island, where the wealthy lived behind gates and pretended poverty didn't exist just 15 kilometers away. He kept his head down, avoiding security cameras, until he reached Emika's house. His friend opened the door and nearly had a heart attack. Chitty, what are you doing here? You look like... I need money. Cash. 250,000 naira. Emika pulled him inside quickly. Are you crazy? Walking around 6 dressed like that? If anyone recognizes you. Nobody looks at security guards. Emika, that's the whole point. Chitty's voice was desperate. Can you give me the money or not? What's this about? The woman I told you about. Ngozi, she's in trouble. Her landlord is trying to force her out. If I don't help her, she'll lose everything. Emika studied his friend's face. And you can't just reveal who you are and solve this problem in 5 minutes, because she'll never look at me the same way again. Chitty's voice cracked. You should see how she talks to me, Emika, like I'm worth listening to. Let my thoughts matter. Not because of my last name or my father's money, but because I'm just me. But you're not just you. You're Chitty Okafor. And the longer you wait to tell her, the worse the betrayal will feel. I know. Chitty sat down heavily. But I can't lose her. Not yet. Emika sighed and left the room. He returned 5 minutes later with an envelope thick with cash. 250,000. But Chitty, this has to stop. Your father is getting worse. The stress is killing him. Guilt twisted Chitty's stomach. Is he okay? Physically, yes. Emotionally? He thinks you're dead. He's planning your funeral. The words hit like a physical blow. I'll go to him soon. I promise. Just let me fix this one thing first. That evening, Chitty approached Ngozi's restaurant with the envelope burning in his pocket. He'd rehearsed his story. He'd sold some family land back in his village. It was believable. Simple. But when he walked in, Ngozi wasn't alone. A well-dressed man sat at one of her tables. Expensive suit, designer watch, the unmistakable air of money. He was talking, and Ngozi was listening with an expression Chitty had never seen before. Hope. Name is Mr. Okonkwo, the man was saying. I represent a group of investors interested in expanding successful local businesses. Your restaurant has excellent reviews, prime location. We'd like to offer you a partnership. A partnership? Ngozi's voice trembled. We clear your debts, renovate the space, market your brand across Lagos. In exchange, we take 40% ownership. You maintain creative control and receive a guaranteed salary plus profit sharing. Chitty's stomach dropped. He knew this game. Sharks in expensive suits, preying on desperate people. By the time Ngozi realized what she'd signed, she'd be working for them, not with them. That sounds too good to be true, Ngozi said carefully. These are legitimate businessmen, Miss Ngozi. Here's our card. Think about it. You have 24 hours before your landlord's deadline, yes? The man stood, smiled, and left. Chitty waited until he was gone, then approached. Ngozi, don't trust that man. She looked up surprised. Obinna, you heard that. Enough to know it's a trap. Those types of deals, they're designed to take everything from you. And how would a security guard know about business deals? The question wasn't accusatory, just curious. What made Chitty's blood run cold? He scrambled for an answer. My uncle lost his shop that way. Same promises, same smile. Within a year, they'd push him out completely. Ngozi nodded slowly. I thought it sounded suspicious. 40% for paying my debts? That's not a partnership. That's a takeover. She slumped in her chair. But what choice do I have? I've been to every bank. No loans without collateral, I don't have. I've asked family, friends. Nobody has that kind of money. I do. The words left Chitty's mouth before his brain could stop them. Ngozi's eyes widened. What? I have the money. 250,000 naira. He pulled out the envelope, hands shaking. I sold some family land. I was saving it for my own dreams. But I want you to have it. Obinna, I can't possibly. Please. He pushed the envelope toward her. Let me do this. You can pay me back over time. No interest. Just don't sign your restaurant away to strangers. Ngozi stared at the money, then at him. Her eyes filled with tears. Why? Why would you do this for me? Because I love you. Because you're the only real thing in my life. Because watching you lose everything would destroy me. Because you're my friend, he said instead. And friends help each other. She stood, walked around the table, and before Chitty could react, she hugged him. Really hugged him. Her face buried in his shoulder, her tears soaking through his uniform. Thank you, she whispered. Thank you, Obinna. I'll pay you back. I swear I will. Every naira. Chitty held her, breathing in the scent of her hair, feeling the warmth of her body against his. This moment, this perfect, terrible moment. He was so focused on Ngozi that he didn't notice the black SUV that had just pulled up outside the plaza. Mr. Benson appeared in the doorway, looking flustered. Obinna, there are some men here asking questions. They're looking for someone, showing photos. Chitty's blood turned to ice. They say they're from Okafor Industries. Something about the chairman's missing son. Ngozi pulled back from the hug. The billionaire's son? The one who disappeared? Why would they come here? Through the restaurant window, Chitty could see them. His father's security team. 3 men in black suits, showing his photograph to the plaza guards. It was over. He could run. Disappear deeper into Lagos. But for how long? And what about Ngozi? She just accepted his money. If he vanished now, she'd think he was a thief, a con artist. Obinna. Ngozi touched his arm. You look like you've seen a ghost. Are you okay? One of the security men was walking toward the restaurant. Chitty had seconds to decide. Run and lose Ngozi forever? Stay and face the truth. The door opened. Excuse me, the security man said. Then his eyes locked on Chitty. His expression changed from professional to shocked. Sir? Mr. Chitty. Ngozi's head whipped toward Chitty. What? What did he call you? The security man pulled out his phone. I found him. East wing of Marina Plaza. Send backup. Obinna, what's going on? Ngozi's voice was rising with panic. Chitty looked at her, his heart breaking. Ngozi, I can explain. Your name isn't Obinna. It wasn't a question. No. Then who are you? Before he could answer, 2 more security men rushed in, followed by frantic Emeka. Chitty, thank God. Emeka said, "Your father is on his way. We have to get you somewhere safe before the media." Chidi. Ngozi stumbled backward, as in Chidi Okafor, the billionaire's son. The restaurant suddenly felt too small. Chidi reached for her. "Please, let me explain. Don't touch me." Tears streamed down her face. "All this time, all those conversations, those moments, you were lying to me. I never lied about my feelings. You lied about everything else." She grabbed the envelope of money and threw it at him. "Is this some kind of game to you? Pretend to be poor, trick the stupid restaurant girl into falling for you." "No. Ngozi, please. Get out." Her voice broke. "Get out of my restaurant. Get out of my life." "Ngozi, now. Are you kidding me right now?" After everything, Chidi's cover is blown in the worst way possible. Ngozi just threw his money back in his face. She thinks he was playing with her, and his father is on the way. This is devastating. Smash that like button if your heart is broken. Subscribe to African Tales by Reno now. Comment. Can Chidi ever fix this? Or is it too late? Next chapter is the finale, and you will not believe how this ends. Share this video everywhere. Turn on notifications. You need to see how this story ends. The media descended on Marina Plaza like vultures. Within an hour, news vans surrounded the building. Reporters shouted questions. Cameras flashed. Headlines were already writing themselves. Billionaire heir found working as security guard. Okafor's son's strange double life exposed. Chidi sat in the back of his father's limousine, staring at nothing while Emeka tried to do damage control on the phone. Through the tinted windows, he could see Ngozi's restaurant. The lights were off. She closed early. "Because of him. Your father wants you at the hospital," Emeka said, hanging up. "Chidi, are you listening?" "I destroyed her," Chidi whispered. "She trusted me, and I destroyed her. You can fix this. Explain everything. Once she knows why you did it. Why I did it." Chidi laughed bitterly. "I lied to her for weeks because I was too broken to find love honestly. How does that make it better?" The limousine pulled away. Chidi watched the plaza disappear in the rearview mirror, along with the only happiness he'd felt in years. Chief Okafor was sitting up in his hospital bed when Chidi arrived. His father looked older somehow, more fragile. When their eyes met, the older man's face crumpled. "My son," he whispered. Chidi crossed the room and fell into his father's arms, sobbing like a child. All the guilt, the fear, the loneliness came pouring out. "I'm sorry, Dad. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. I couldn't live that life anymore. Everyone wanted my money, my name. Nobody wanted me." Chief Okafor held his son tight. I know, and I'm sorry too. I pushed you toward that life. I thought money solved everything. I forgot that the heart needs more than wealth to survive." They held each other for a long moment. Then Chief Okafor pulled back, studying his son's face. "Tell me about her." "What?" "The woman. The one who made you want to be Obina instead of Chidi. Tell me about her." So Chidi did. He told his father everything. About Ngozi's kindness, her strength, the way she treated a poor security guard like he mattered. About falling in love with someone who saw his soul instead of his bank account. "And now she hates me," Chidi finished. "She thinks I was mocking her, playing some cruel game." Chief Okafor was quiet for a long moment. Then, "So prove her wrong." "How?" "The same way you won her heart in the first place. With truth." 3 days later, Ngozi received an unexpected visitor at a restaurant. Not Chidi, his father. Chief Okafor arrived without security, without fanfare. Just an old man in a simple suit, asking to speak with her. "I don't want to talk about your son," Ngozi said coldly. "I understand, but I'm not here to defend him. I'm here to apologize." He gestured to a chair. "May I sit?" Reluctantly, Ngozi nodded. "My son hurt you," Chief Okafor began. "He lied, and that's inexcusable. But I want you to understand why. Because he thought it was funny? Because rich people need hobbies? Because he was broken?" The rawness in the old man's voice made Ngozi pause. "His mother died when he was 12. After that, I threw money at everything, tried to buy his happiness. And I succeeded in creating a life where everyone wanted something from him, where every smile had a price tag. Ngozi's anger wavered slightly. He came to me 4 months ago. Chief Okafor continued. Told me he felt like a bank account with legs. That he couldn't tell who loved him and who loved his fortune. I told him he was being dramatic. That love would find him eventually. The old man's eyes glistened. I was wrong. And when another woman admitted she was only with him for money, he broke. Completely broke. So he decided to lie to me instead. He decided to find out what it felt like to be loved for himself. And he found you. Chief Okafor pulled out a folder. These are the security footage logs from Marina Plaza. Every night, my son came to work on time. He did his job. He helped the cleaners, walked vendors to their cars, fixed things without being asked. The man you knew, Obina, that was my son being himself. Maybe for the first time in his adult life. Ngozi looked at the papers, her hands trembling. The name was fake, Chief Okafor said softly. The money was real. But everything else? Every conversation, every laugh, every moment you shared? That was genuine. That was Chitty, not the Okafor fortune. He should be telling me this, not you. He's outside. Has been for 2 hours. Too afraid you'll reject him. Ngozi looked toward the window. Sure enough, there was Chitty, not in a designer suit, in his security guard uniform, standing in the rain like a man with nothing left to lose. He's wearing the uniform, she whispered. He quit his position at Okafor Industries this morning. Said he'd rather be a real security guard than a fake heir. That at least then he'd be honest. Ngozi felt her throat tighten. I'm not asking you to forgive him, Chief Okafor said, standing. But I'm asking you to let him tell you the truth. The whole truth. And then decide if the man you fell in love with was real or not. After the old man left, Ngozi stood at her window, watching Chitty in the rain. He wasn't looking at the restaurant. He was just waiting, hoping. She thought about their conversations, his kindness, the way he'd looked at her like she was the most important person in the world. Had that been a lie? Her heart said no. Against every logical thought screaming in her head, Ngozi grabbed an umbrella and walked outside. Chitty looked up, shocked. Ngozi, don't talk. Just listen. She held the umbrella over both of them. Your father told me everything. About your mother. About the women who used you. About why you became Obina. I'm so sorry. I said don't talk. Her voice cracked. Do you have any idea how humiliated I felt? Finding out that the man I was falling in love with was secretly a billionaire? That every time I fed you, worried about you, tried to help you, you could have bought my entire block without blinking? I know, and I hate myself for it. But you know what hurts more? Tears mixed with rain on her face. That you didn't trust me enough to tell me the truth. Did you think I'd suddenly start seeing Naira signs instead of you? Yes, Chitty's voice broke. Because everyone does. Every single person except you. And I was terrified that the moment you knew, I'd lose the only real thing I've ever had. They stood there, rain pouring down, hearts breaking and healing simultaneously. The money you gave me for the landlord, Ngozi said quietly. Was it pity? It was love. And Obina? Was he real? Obina is who I am when I'm not trying to live up to my father's name. He's the man I want to be. The man you helped me become. Chitty took her hands. You taught me what it means to work for something. To value things beyond money. To see people instead of just moving past them. Obina was the most honest version of myself I've ever been. Even though the name was fake, even though. Ngozi studied his face, saw the truth in his eyes, the fear, the hope, the love. If we do this, she said slowly, no more lies. Ever. I don't care if you're a billionaire or a security guard, but I need honesty. Does that mean? It means I'm willing to try. Starting from the beginning. Hi, I'm Ngozi. I run a small restaurant, support my siblings, and apparently fall for idiots who think lying about their identity is a good idea. Relief and joy flooded Chitty's face. Hi, I'm Chitty. I'm a billionaire's son who spent the last month pretending to be a security guard because he was too scared to be himself. And I'm desperately in love with you. You're lucky I love you too then. Even though I fell in love with Obina, Ngozi interrupted. I'm choosing to trust that Chitty and Obina are the same person. Don't make me regret it. Never, Chitty promised. They stood in the rain, umbrella forgotten, and kissed for the first time. Not billionaire, and restaurant owner. Not rich and poor. Just two people who'd found something rare and precious. Real love. Epilogue. 6 months later, Mama and Ketchy's kitchen expanded to 3 locations across Lagos. Ngozi maintained full ownership, with Chidi as her silent partner and official taste tester. Chief Okafor started a foundation helping young entrepreneurs access business loans without predatory conditions. His son's experience had taught him something valuable. Money should open doors, not close hearts. And Chidi? He split his time between Okafor Industries and working 1 night a week as a security guard at the original Marina Plaza. Some habits were worth keeping, because sometimes you have to lose everything to find what really matters. And sometimes the truth really does set you free. The end. Wow. From pretending to be poor to finding real love. Chidi and Ngozi's story proves that genuine connection can't be bought. Did this ending satisfy you? Or did you want something different? Smash that like button if you loved this story. Subscribe to African Tales by Reno for more amazing stories like this. Drop a comment. What did you learn from Chidi and Ngozi's journey? Share this complete story with everyone. And turn on notifications because next week's story is even more dramatic. Thank you for watching. And remember, love sees the heart, not the bank account.